An adaptation of Khaled Hosseini's novel A Thousand Splendid Suns is playing at the Old Globe Theatre in Balboa Park. Kpbs associate producer Marya Fani tells us how the story of Afghan women coping with war resonates today.
What is this? Have I married a pair of statues?
This is the story of two women in Kabul, Afghanistan, married to the same man, living under one roof in a society where women's rights have been under attack. Their friendship is formed through trauma and courage.
Sometimes I think about putting chili in his toothpaste. Do you think Allah would forgive me for that? I know I would.
Playwright Ursula Rani Sarma says the story of suffering in 1990s war-torn Kabul is important today.
It forces you to think about your own perceptions, your own prejudices, your own expectations, and about life, about women, about the role of women in society, about the voice of women in society. And I think it's always good to challenge an audience in that way.
The story weaves through events over 3 decades of war. Old Globe artistic director Barry Edelstein says the play puts Afghan culture center stage.
It tells us a story about another part of the world that has really concerned the United States now for over a decade. And it's a pleasure to understand and to empathize with the experience of people who are, on the one hand, so remote from us, but on the other hand, are having experiences that resonate with our own humanity in a deep, deep way.
Plotting against me?
No! Stop it! Don't hurt her! You win!
Director Carey Perloff says there are lots of similarities between the character Rashid, husband of the two women, and some Americans today.
There are many people in this country who feel, for whatever reason, that their jobs have been taken from them or that they have been treated unfairly, particularly men, and so when they lash out at women or people of other races, it comes from a place of fear, which is exactly what happens with Rashid.
No, mine! I want you to...
Deciding which parts to use and what to leave out of the book was a challenge, says Rani Sarma.
We have created is an adaptation that feels really, really theatrical. It doesn't feel like a book that has been retold on stage, and I think that's a real success of it, actually, and something I feel quite proud of.
Perloff says it's a cathartic play that audiences have been responding to.
It's extremely sad and moving, and the audience is sort of sobbing in places, but I also think at the end it's incredibly hopeful.
The most beautiful thing I have ever seen.
For Kpbs News, I'm Marya Fani.
A Thousand Splendid Suns runs through Sunday, June 17th at the Old Globe.